All right, hey Huskies, this is Mr. Marusik here. I am in my son's room actually, and I want to talk to you first about this week. This is the first week of the distance learning phase 2 rollout, and this is super important that you keep up with this. So let me just show you what we've compiled. So every teacher must have the whole agenda for the entire week laid out for you. So this is going to be in your Google Classroom. You should see it. Obviously, this is how you were able to get the Ed Puzzle. Today will be an Ed Puzzle on writing equations from graphs and points. There's going to be flow map in your notebook. Actually, going to be flow maps in your notebook. So there'll be a couple. Then on Tuesday, there will be quizzes. There's 20 question quizzes to complete. I want to get 90% or higher, please. Wednesday, there will be another Ed Puzzle, kind of reviewing, and then it'll be like a study guide for your Google form quiz on Thursday. There's no school Friday. I was gonna, and I'm always available, guys, for my office hours. This is like me getting back to you right away. But to be honest, if you're gonna get a hold of me through Google Classroom, through email, or through Remind, I will get back to you as soon as I can. I'm at home. I'm with my family. If there's something going on, maybe having dinner or cooking, but Remind has been the quickest way. I'll get back to you as soon as I can constantly, and for sure within 24 hours, it says here on the bottom. But each week, we're supposed to post this weekly agenda, basically is what it's called, our weekly focus for the week. Feel free to contact me anytime, not just during these office hours, but anytime. Okay? So now let's get this off of me, but let's go to actually have your notebook out, and we're going to do a flow map. And your flow map will have box here. And look at the size of my box, okay? This middle one will be a little larger. All right, and then your last one will be about here. And you know what I'm going to do next week? Next week, I will do a Flipgrid, and I will allow you guys to actually show me your notes when you start the Flipgrid. You could even have this in the video and be like, all right, guys, here's my flow map, and then I'm going to be using this skill to eventually solve the next part. So this is actually the first box, second, and third. Now the title of this, and you're going to be like, eventually, hopefully light bulbs are going to go off during this lesson saying, I remember this. This is all from Unit 1. It is. We're going to go over the skills from Unit 1 so we can level up next week into what you need to know. And guys, everything we're doing right now, let me look at you guys in the face here. Let me see if I can get back to this. Everything we're doing, I got you. I'm looking at you. Everything we're doing right now is going to help you in high school. So if you think you're just going to get lazy on me and not do any work, that's on you. That's on you. You want to be behind in high school? You want to fall behind? You want to fail? You fail, you get a D in math first semester. You're retaking the class. So everything we're doing now is going to help you in high school. And I'm not going to overload you with a bunch of busy work. Everything we do is important. Take your time and get through it. All right, you guys can do this. So the title is going to be Writing Linear Equations. Okay, writing linear equations, and I'm going to write this down here underneath. Y equals slope x plus y-intercept. I'm going to do my fun clouds here, and then around the slope, which used to go right here, I'm going to put clouds around it, and around the y-intercept, I'm going to put a point. And if you're totally lost from first semester, say that's a linear graph, or that's a line, right? But this is linear, straight. And what if I said this was actually your coordinate grid? Where would the y-intercept be? At 0? You see that's the y-intercept? And let's just say this was up 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3. And if we went up 1 over 3, or even up 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1 over 2 over 3, what's 3 over 3 going to turn into? Slope would be 1, right? Rise over run. And this is all review. So if you were to write this equation, it would be y equals 3x plus 0. And we're going to go over and review these kinds of concepts, okay? So the first question I want you guys solving, I'll give you 2 points, 2, 5, and 1, 3. And I want you to write the equation. And that's what it's going to tell you. Write equation. That's the question it's asking, okay? So how will we do that? First step, and let me zoom in just slightly here on this one. Your first step to solve this one would be you have to label your coordinates. If you remember this from first semester, label x, y, x, y. And if you noticed last week was all going over slope, and it's like all old stuff, like y minus y. We're doing that because that's important for today. So how do you solve this to begin with? You're going to find the slope from points using y minus y, x minus x, okay? Using the slope formula. And that gives you slope, which is also known as m in high school. In high school, okay? But we'll, again, I'm trying to get you ready for high school, but I want you to just understand that's the slope. That's the rise and run or the fall and run, okay? So y minus y, how would you set this up? Y minus y, 5 minus 3, y minus y, x minus x, 2 minus 1, okay? 2 over 1, which would eventually equal 2. All right, and we finished the first box, not too difficult. We did this all last week, right? Again, we're leveling up off of that, what we did last week, okay? So then the second box, still writing the equation. So I'm gonna say first step, start writing linear equation by using the slope. And I could write neater, but start writing the linear equation by using the slope. So that would be y equals slope x, and I'm gonna put 2 different spaces here. So y equals the slope, all right, and the y-intercept. And you just figured out the slope. It was 2, so your slope's gonna go right here. All right, and then if you remember this part, the second part, I'm gonna put the note underneath it. Remember, this is a slope. This is the y-intercept. So the next step here, to find the y-intercept, you must plug in either point from the beginning. And what were the points from the beginning? Do you remember? If we look at this, the points from the beginning, either of these points you're going to plug in. Either of these points. So I'll go back here. To find the y-intercept, you must plug in either point or either point from the beginning. Okay? So if I look at this point here, these 2 points, I'm going to plug in 2, 5. So the point 2, 5, 2, 5, x, y. Where do I put the 2? Well, the 2 is the x value, so I put it right here. Where do I put the 5? Well, the 5 is the y value, so I put it right here. Okay. Now, 5 equal 2 times 2. Does 5 equal 2 times 2? Does 5 equal 4? Read the sentence as a language arts problem. I would always tell you that. 5 doesn't equal 4. No. So how would you make it equal 5 equals 5? Would you plus 1? Any light bulbs going off? So your plus 1 makes the problem make sense. See what I'm saying? We plug in the 2. 2 times 2 is 4, but 4 doesn't equal 5, only when I add 1. All right? Then this last part, just write out the equation. It wasn't too big of a deal here. 2x plus 1, and if you wanted to graph it, let's get fancy here. You start at plus 1, right? Plus 1, that's your y-intercept. Then you're going to go up 2 over 1. Oh, Mr. Marusa, come on. Could do way better than that. All right? My lines are struggling. I've been in the classroom. I've been doing this. So You guys can handle this. This is review. I would love for you to go ahead and maybe use this flow map, and let's try another problem just for practice to see how we do. The next one here will be, I'm going to get a little crazy. 8, -3, 6, -9. Oops, you can't see that. And I want you to, from these 2 points, give me eventually y equals, right, that's what basically we're doing. We're taking 2 points and we're turning it into a linear equation. Your first step, slope formula, right? Let's set this up. Make sure you set this up right. -3 minus a -9. Look at that, okay? And the bottom one, 8 minus 6. Well, 8 minus 6 is 2. But -3 minus a -9? Okay, well, guess what you can use? All right, don't be scared to use this. Don't be scared. -3 minus a -9. +6. Interesting. Okay, so go back to your part here, and that's going to become +6. Well, if you didn't know what 6 over 2 reduces to, you could plug that back in the calculator. But I know if I take 2 out of this and reduce it, I get something over 1. 2 into 6, 3 times. So guess what I have right now? I have the slope. Now let's go ahead and try to figure out what is my y-intercept. So I'm going to take either point. I'll take the first one. I'm going to plug in 8 is x. I'm going to plug it in right here. This is getting kind of crazy because these are going to be big numbers, all right? So don't freak out. And then it's going to be -3, okay? What is 8 times 3? It's 24, okay? And this is -3. Interesting. How do I get from 24 to -3? Do I add something to 24? No. Do I subtract it? And guys, let me just start you off right away. 24, what if I said 24 minus 24? What does that equal? 0, right? That equals 0. 24 minus 24 is 0. So it's not minus 24. What if I did 24 minus 25? What would that be? 24 minus 25 would be -1. All right, let's keep going with the pattern. What if I did minus 26? That'd be -2. Interesting. Okay. What if I did 24 minus 27? That would be -3. So I gave you a challenging one on purpose. -27. Okay. So do the best you can with the quizzes. That's it's for tomorrow. If you feel like you're a rock star and you want to use these notes and go ahead and crack out the quizzes now, you could go for it. It's at your own pace. I just want you, if you can find time each day to get some math done, that's great. I may put in some extra stuff for you to just help you with your concepts and your skills. All right. I want you to focus on learning right now. All right, and growing. That is the whole focus right now. Okay. So do the best you can. And if you have any questions, email. Remind is first. Remind, always hit me up on Remind, email, or Google Classroom. I would say that's the best order right now. All right, guys, best of luck. Reach out if you need help.